Do you think you were ready for this experiment?
Yeah, 100%. Do you think I was?
No.
Oh, yeah, why?
Just by you constantly accusing me of that, I don't know if you was 100% ready, to be honest.
You don't think I'm ready to be here?
I'm sorry, but how are couples already falling apart on their honeymoon? It's not even at the end of their honeymoon. They've barely been on their honeymoon and already the couples are falling apart. Make it make sense. Can we scrap this season and start afresh? Let us really start afresh, because it doesn't make sense how people are fighting over stupid stuff. And given the way, this woman behaved on her at the reception, I thought she would have been the better of all the brides. And so to have Beck sort of behave the way she's behaving, I'm confused. I really am confused, because her ego was bruised, and because her ego was bruised by this man, she didn't expect him to say that he doesn't find her attractive. Now she's finding excuses. Make it make sense. Why didn't she ask production to point at the girl or to follow the husband's eye direction so that they could catch him on video? Because if they're being recorded all day, someone should have picked up on it, that he's staring at other brides. And then, Chris has found his karma. They really set him up, because this wife is really going to humble him. And I didn't expect Rachel for things to go left like that. But anyway, hey there, thanks for stopping by. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, click the like button, turn on the notification bell for when I upload new videos, and definitely leave a comment. In this episode, I'll be reviewing Married at First Sight Australia, Season 13, Episode 4. It's the honeymoon. We have couples on the honeymoon. We're catching up with the couples on their honeymoon to see how they're going. First off, we see Brooke and Chris. Chris is smitten with his wife. And I think the fact that she's refusing to hug him or kiss him or whatever he wants is what's sort of making the attraction worse. She says she's happy. She finally feels comfortable around him. Do I believe it? I don't know. I want to believe them, but I don't know. She mocked him about his height. He seemed to take it on the chin. And so good for him. Gia and Scott are very happy. They're very happy. You had Gia sort of say that she's been misunderstood by men, because men have automatically assumed, seeing how she looks, that she's only about the physical attraction and the physical connection. And so she is looking for someone who is going for depth. They've both said they've got a high sex drive. The fact that she's trying to tell us that they haven't been physically intimate. Okay, if they haven't, good for them. We did later see them go on this boat ride, and they seemed to be very peaceful and very happy. So good for them. I love successful couples, and they're pleasantly surprising me, because I expected worse from the two. Well, from Gia, not so much her husband, but from Gia. Becca and Danny. Danny is trying his best to stay away from his wife. And if that means swimming the whole ocean back to Sydney or wherever, he's going to do that. Because after he said he wasn't physically attracted, or there was no physical spark, he then started swimming. Now they're at the poolside. He is swimming. Obviously, Beck is in her feelings, because she's now saying she's got body insecurities because of the fact that he said, he's not physically attracted to her, and he's holding back, and they're going to struggle to build a relationship without physical connection. And it's like, girl, I think this is a you problem. This is not a him problem. I said it in my last review that I think because she lost so much weight, she must have either had some sort of surgery to correct whatever the saggy skin, or something that he saw and it put him off. And he won't say it because he's trying to be a good guy. And sadly for his bride, her ego is bruised, and she is really struggling to sort of get over that. Alicia and David, we barely saw them. I thought they were going to be a troublesome couple. I thought Alicia was going to play up since, she's this media manager or something like that. But surprisingly, they seem very peaceful. They seem very happy. Because David injured his leg, obviously he can't put it in the water until it's healed. So they were sort of trying to do activities that David was able to participate in without sort of making his injuries worse, without causing him pain, I think, or without affecting his dressings and stuff. And they seem very cute and happy. And so we barely saw them, which means en masse they're happy. Mel and Luke are another couple that need to go home. They really need to go home. Mel is just there for the holiday. She is. Because I saw her speak to the chef more times than I've seen her speak to her husband on wedding day and the honeymoon. So this is not a problem whereby she struggles to open up. She can open up when she wants to. The way she spoke to the chef and the way she was smiling at the chef and stuff tells you that she's capable. The fact that this man was late to the reception is not it. I think she had this idea of the man that she wanted, and she, when she saw her groom, wasn't happy, and she's not even friend zoned him. It's just a stranger that she's around because she has to be around him in order to enjoy her holiday. And then we have, Rachel and Stephen. I thought they were a good couple. I actually thought this season they were the happy couple for the season, and they were actually going to work. So that little spin didn't make sense to me because they sat down, they were tasting wine, and then they were sort of talking about their hobbies. Rachel brought up the fact that she and her dad and her siblings, it seems, like to go and watch football. So Stephen, in an attempt to lighten the mood, said to her, "Oh, are you one of those rowdy, football fans?" And if I were Rachel, I would have said, no, I'm not one of those, but hey, if you want, let's go and you can teach me how to do it because it looks fun. So for her to be offended and to start saying to him, you're labeling, it's like this is her trauma that she's coming with. This trauma, step in, because she even said, I've been mislabeled. She was telling John, I've been mislabeled by people. I've had this sort of tag that's followed me, so I don't like people. And it's like, this man said it was a joke. He even told you it was a joke. So the idea and the audacity for you to say, oh, it hurts my feelings because it's trying to make light of something that I am offended by. Girl, take several seats. It's not that big a deal. It's not that big a deal. How many times have you seen football fans chanting? Have you seen UK fans? Maybe you need to watch them and see how they react at football matches. He thought it was just something to laugh about, and the way you're reacting, it's as though he's done something very bad. We then meet the next bride to get married. So we meet Rebecca. She's 51. She's a leasing manager. She says she's an empty nester and she's, because her child has moved out, she's feeling a bit lonely. She was divorced when her son was 2 years old and she's looking for a silver fox. This business of a silver fox, what happens when the silver fox's hair falls off? What are you going to do? Let us think of more things than that. I love the fact that she said a man to her is a want. It's not a need, so it's not a necessity, but it's something that she feels she wants just to sort of keep her company. It's more like she's after companionship. Her laugh, it's annoying. Let's be for real. Her laugh, you have to love it in order to tolerate it, or you have to be in love with her in order for you to not see it, hear it. The fact that we had production continue to sort of replay and replay, and it was too much. Hopefully, when she watches herself, she learns how to sort of cope with that because that was too much. Anyway, she's got a 20-year old son who's moved out of the home, and so she says she wants a man who loves his family and a man who has kids. And it's like, oh wow. She was matched with Stephen. He is 50. He's a creative director, and apparently he worked in the hospitality industry for a bit, and now he's a creative director and he arranges events and stuff. He's got 4 daughters, and he's after someone who wants a good time, who likes food and who doesn't take themselves seriously, who loves to drink. And it's like, oh my God, I think they'll make a cute couple. I think they'll make a cute couple as long as they don't sort of run into obstacles like the couple last season. I've forgotten the elderly couple whereby things went wrong one day and then they never got on track. The experts were excited because both of them were saying, Steve was saying and Rebecca was saying that we want a partner. We don't need a partner. They seem very successful in their careers. So they just want someone for companionship. And it's like, if that, as long as they're coming into the marriage with the right expectation, then amazing. As long as they're coming in not expecting someone to sort of fix the 20 something years of mistakes that were created in their life, then that's good. So they are the only couple that got married on this day. We had, Rebecca's mom came with a letter from her dad, who apparently is feeling unwell. We didn't get to hear what's wrong with him. And then on his part, Stephen had his dad and his sister come down and sort of represent for him. I loved them. I thought their outfits were great. They looked really cute. This time, Stephen is the one. Obviously, there weren't any issues with the rings at this ceremony. So Stephen was the one who walked down the aisle first. And you had, Rebecca's friends. They were excited. They were happy because they said he matched what Rebecca had asked for. So they were happy with that. He seemed very at ease on his part too, so was able to sort of and greet the families and sort of build rapport with the family, and they seemed to like him. And then Rebecca was walked down the aisle by her son. Her laugh, her laugh, her laugh. It was too much. Even her friends were saying, "Oh my God, we can already hear her coming." And the groom's family were pleasantly surprised. She walks down the aisle They looked very cute at the altar. I'm going to say that they were both impressed with what they saw, and I like their realistic expectations and said, I like what I see now. I can't promise that I'm always going to like it, but at the moment they're both happy. So good for them. We all want people to be in love and people to be happy. So as long as they're in love and happy, that's good. They said their vows, they shared their first kiss. You had, Rebecca's mom say she's happy with the groom. He really seems like an amazing guy because he spoke about his children, his family. And so they were happy with his vows because the mother said, it sounded like Rebecca had written the vows herself. And it's like, oh, that's sweet. At the reception, yes, the laugh carried on and on and on and on. On his part, Stephen said he loved the laugh because it showed that this is someone with a warm spirit, someone that's very caring and compassionate and empathetic. As long as they're happy, I love it. Everybody else was taken aback. You had Austin, Rebecca's son, go and sit down with Stephen and have a chat. And they seemed to get along. Austin was impressed. He really was impressed by the conversation that he had with Stephen because Stephen seemed open to the opportunity. And so I hope the two of them, whatever they've said in their vows, they stick to it and they will be happy. They went on their honeymoon. Oh, it was really sweet to see them because they went to with Sundays. And so they went. I think the good thing about the two of them is they are young at heart, so they were able to go paddle boarding. And when Stephen fell in the water, you had Rebecca just laughing. She didn't sort of get into a mood like Mel would to say, "Oh, why is he in the water?" So I love that about their connection. They seem really peaceful and they seem really happy. Brooke and Chris, they are still at the winery. They're not doing anything fancy. They're just at the winery. So they were walking around the winery, and then they later went for a meal. They sat down and they got the honeymoon box. And in their honeymoon box, they had two questions. The first one for Chris was, "What did you ask for, and did the experts deliver?" Chris said yes, he's happy because he asked for someone beautiful and tall, and this is what he got. I think the experts have given him someone to humble him and break him. The same thing they did to Elliot because Elliot's first wife was very sort of subservient and he treated her badly. So they gave him someone, I think her name was Veronica, who really made his life miserable and he was able to self-reflect. And I think this is what they've done. They've just decided to go head first and give him, someone who's going to challenge him and not sort of eat up every single thing he dishes out. And then you had, Brooke asked Chris, "What is your red flag in a partner?" Uh, he said that he doesn't like fake tan. And it's like, oh my God. So he was asked, "Do I have fake tan?" And he said, "Yeah, just a little bit, but it's nothing really that bad because I hate fake tan." I think their conversations, for me, it sounds like they brought in an actress and they want this actress to make this man sort of humble because of how he was hypercritical about the show and the comments that he made. Because otherwise, I don't quite get what's going on with them as a couple. Becca and Danny were a surprise that came out of left field because they went on their date and then as they were sitting down, a lady walked past and Becca said, "Do you want to take a double take?" And he was like, "What?" He said, "You've been looking at this woman all day." I don't know whether he's been looking at her or not, but I think Becca's insecurities are adding to whatever's going on with Danny. And sadly, that is putting Danny off because she ended up storming off because she was saying, "You're trying to make me look like an idiot. You're not, you're pretending you don't know what I mean, but this is exactly what's happened." And it's like, make it make sense. Even if this is the case, she should have pulled production aside and said, "There's this lady that his eyes keep following. Point the cameras on him and just keep an eye out for it." Because now it's a he said, she said, because production don't have the footage. Yes, they showed the girl that was walking, but we don't know how far true that is. And so I didn't like it. At one point, we thought Becca had gone, but then she came back and you had, Danny say to her, "Let us just pretend like this didn't happen and let us move on." And I thought they were going to move on because they started joking and the honeymoon box came and they were back to square one. So the first question was, based on what you know about me so far, what is endearing or annoying? You're right. She said she likes the fact that he's caring, he's compassionate, he's understanding. But then what she doesn't like is the fact that he keeps staring at this woman. Danny wasn't happy. Danny wasn't happy about it. He really wasn't happy because he said he likes the fact that she speaks about her family highly, but he doesn't like the fact that she keeps bringing up this thing about the girl and he doesn't know what girl she's talking about. And it's like, oh girl, we're going to have a back and forth and back and forth and back and forth until amen. Then the next question was, "Do you feel any sexual chemistry?" And he said no. this got into Rebecca, right into the core of her, because she said he was very abrupt and very quick with it. She then told him that, ask me any question. And he said, do you think you were ready for this experiment? And she said, what do you think? And he said, no. I personally understand where he's coming from, because if you have entered the experiment and you haven't got what you want, and the next thing is you're attacking the other person's character, that means you were never ready. You have issues that you need to go home and deal with. And sadly for Rebecca, I don't think she's going to deal with them, and I don't think she's ready to deal with whatever issues they are. She is going to continue to play herself as the victim until she gets her way. She stormed off. She said, oh, who do you think you are? Do you think you're David Beckham? And it's like, what has David Beckham got to do with this situation here? What has he got to do with this situation? I wish the experts, not the experts, but I wish the producers had separated them. They separated them for a bit, but I hope they actually give them 24 hours each to sort of decompress and sort of reflect and ask themselves, do I really want to do this, or is this the end of the road? Because that would really help for them as people, because at the end of the day, right now it's very toxic. It's very, very toxic, and I wouldn't be surprised if they are the first couple to leave the experiment, unless they both want clout and they decide to continue, or they are pushed to stay, because apparently there's a couple that was removed from the show. Anyway, I can't wait to see what happens in the next episode. Thanks guys for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Click on the link in my video to watch my review from episode 3. Bye everyone.